The all clear has been sounded for some Minnesota residents who had been evacuated from their homes following an overnight train derailment there.
This comes after at least 6 other train derailments in just the last 2 months, the most dangerous of them at East Palestine, Ohio. Mills Hayes is live in Raymond, Minnesota. And Mills, what have residents there told you?
Brian and Hannah, I spoke with residents here who tell me they are worried. I mean, this is something they've been seeing in the news, and they never thought that it would actually be here happening in their town. You guys can check it out right here behind me. There's a lot of movement going on where this train derailed. 22 cars actually came off the tracks here. Now they're really just working to try to clean this area up. Can't see the flames from here, but just a few hours ago, they were still blazing. We're talking about 12 hours after the crash, so still a lot of debris to be cleaned up right now. And we know that this is a very small town with not a lot of resources, so over 15 additional fire departments had to actually come in and are helping them still right now. Most of the people in the small town of Raymond, Minnesota were asleep at 1 in the morning, except for Susan Speaker, whose husband just got off a shift working on an ambulance.
He was in bed, and we heard the train come through, and all of a sudden we heard a very loud boom.
BNSF Railway says 22 train cars carrying ethanol and corn syrup derailed at 1:02 in the morning, causing an eruption of fire.
And we saw the flames, which at that time were about 30 feet, I would say, in the air.
Rose Day hadn't even unpacked her suitcase from the hospital after going through knee replacement surgery.
They came through the fire department, waking up people through the mobile home park that's behind me, and then they came to my door. They said, "You gotta go, we're evacuating the whole town."
The railway says the ethanol will burn off, and they're monitoring the crash site.
I was just hoping it wasn't something like, was it Ohio, where they had that big spill? And I was hoping it was nothing like that, and thank God for that.
All eyes are on the railroad industry after a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, almost 2 months ago that released toxic chemicals and caused health concerns.
Yeah, that's scary, because you always think it happens someplace else, but when it keeps happening, there's something wrong with our infrastructure, and we need to get a handle on it.
BNSF Railway had 2 train derailments last week in Arizona and Washington. CEO Catherine Farmer says the one in Arizona was due to flooding.
99.99% of all hazardous commodities get to destination without incident, so we are very safe.
And some of the residents I spoke with tell me that they were actually thinking about what would happen if a train derailment happened in their town, because they had been seeing it across the news in other areas, and they were concerned because they didn't think that they would have enough resources, and they were proven right when it happened early this morning. Lots of other resources having to come in, but they really are concerned about this in especially small towns, because they do not have the kind of chemicals to get rid of hazardous material. They really only have, they're really only able to deal with getting rid of fire through water. So small resources and definitely some concern here. And Raymond, Mills Hayes, Fox 13 News.
Meanwhile, that rail company involved in the Minnesota derailment is the same one behind a local derailment near Anacortes earlier this month. It happened on the Swinomish Reservation, and BNSF is paying for cleanup and repairs after the train leaked an estimated 3,000 gallons of diesel. A federal official recently told the Seattle Times the likely cause was a miscommunication between the train crew and a bridge operator.